Hey, what's up, Unstoppablepreneurs? In this video, I'm going to break down a little bit about how and why kids have fears and anxieties and some things you can do about it to change it. I'm a dad, and I've got 3 kiddos. One's 5 years old, turning 6. Another is 3, and we have a 4-month-old. So wow, family life is fun, but when you're running a business and balancing family life, sometimes it can be difficult to really give your kids the attention they need. And we've seen our kids go through fears from being scared of the dark to scared of going in tunnels, a slide, to not wanting to eat certain foods, and even just anxiety about being separated, right? Like separation anxiety. And over the years, as I've dove into what works, what doesn't work, there's been a simple little process through the abundance alignment technique that I'm going to show you here of how you can help support your kids. This is such an amazing technique. We did this on my daughter the other day. We try to do it every week, at least one time. And this past time, we had her where she was just not treating her younger sister very nicely. She was secluding her, and when one of her friends was over, she'd not want to spend time with her, And you might think that these are just natural things. But the problem is, if they're not addressed, then it leads to problems down the road. And I see some of the things that I struggled with as a kid, and I didn't handle them then. And it took me years later to handle my insecurities and it led me to be in a state of poverty, led me to be afraid of having a good relationship with someone. So these little things that happen when we're young can lead to big decisions and make a big impact in our lives, unless we, as parents, can do something about it right away. So in this video, I want to show you some things that we do on our kids and help our kids empower themselves so that they can be unstoppable as well and they can feel empowered. There's nothing more exciting to see your kid just feel empowered and know that they can handle any situation. So here's one of the things that happened. My daughter, so you can do this with any fears and anxieties. So one time she was like 3 years old. 3 years old. And she had spent some time, literally like less than an hour, over at a friend's house. So she was over at this friend's house. And at this friend's house, this boy, who was like a year older, ends up closing her in a basement. So it was like this, there was this door, it was dark, and he shut the door on her. And it was only for a few minutes, right? So this happened. And he's a good kid. We know his parents. They're great people. They would never think that that would be a big thing. But little things happen when you're not expecting it. And it can make a huge impact. So this happened. Now, when this happened, my daughter formed some negative feelings. So feelings and thoughts around this experience. One was connected to dark places. Another, though, was connected to boys. So she had this interpretation that boys were out to get her. They were bad. They were mean. And from then on out, she would like freak out if she was with a boy. So she would go hang out with girls and make lots of girlfriends, but she wouldn't go and make a friend with any boys. Why? Because when that happened and she was in that moment of darkness and it closed on her, she felt very scared. She felt alone. She felt afraid. And she didn't feel very safe. So what happened is those negative interpretations got tied to the definition of boy, right? So then anytime she would see a boy around that age, it would actually re-stimulate these fears, anxieties, and uncertainties inside of her, which doesn't do very good when you're at school or you're on the playground, right? It's not very happy. So she comes to me and we do this little process. This is called the abundance alignment technique. If you don't know about this, you can check out more videos. You can ask here. We have courses on it, all sorts of fun stuff. But the key is that, number one, stuff happens. And as parents, we need to take responsibility to be proactive. So we ask our daughter, we do weekly meetings with them that are fun and engaging and exciting, which they look forward to. And in that meeting, she's like, yeah, I just don't want to go to school. I don't want to do this. And we're like, why? And we got to uncover that it was because there's boys there and she had to sit with some boys. So I said, well, great. Do you want to change that? Do you want to work on it? And she's at first resistant. And I'm like, well, let's do it. It'll help. I promise. on my daughter, this is called an intuitive alignment, and we address a couple negatives. So the key is to find some negative things that may have been tied to that experience. So for her, it was, I feel alone, boys are out to get me, I don't like them, they're mean, they're not safe. And you can come up with 5, 10, 15 different things that are just negative phrases, thoughts, or feelings tied to that situation. So we voice it, then we tap on her. Now, the point of this, and she's intuitive enough, we ask, like, when we say this, where do you feel it? So it's like, boys, I don't like boys. And then she's like, right here. And kids are really smart. They're very powerful and very intuitive to their bodies. Us as adults, sometimes we disconnect from our bodies and we're not as in tune. We should learn from our kids. So she's just like, here's where I feel it, right here, or right here, or right here. So she's just like, boom, instantly. So then we tap that spot, and then on her, we just tap down her back, so like down the spine. But you can do it like this, okay? But you're going to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth while tapping. So 3 times. Then you're going to pant like a dog while tapping 3 times, and then you smile, okay? What this does is you're taking the trigger, so to say, that negative interpretation that was linked to that experience. So hers was boy, so she had this boy, and then now every time she thinks of boy, she thinks of like bad, mean, gonna be scared, he's gonna hurt me, lonely, like all this stuff, right? Don't want to be with him, not safe. So you acknowledge those. So you might, and we even went through and was like, okay, boys are mean, they're gonna hurt me, I'm scared of boys, I don't want to be around boys. And you state the negatives. Now the key here is when you state the negative, it's actually causing that response, that fight flight response that the body has become addicted to. So you address it, tap where it is, and then align it. And it stops the fight flight response and allows the person to be at choice again. So then after you do this, then we do a couple positives. And we do, okay, so great. What if boys could be my friend? I'm safe around them. I can have fun. I'm in control. So some of those things. So then we just had her state a few things. Like, it's okay if I want to have a boyfriend or a friend who's a boy, then I can choose one. I don't have to, but it's my choice. So then you tap and then align. Okay? Then, oh, I am safe around boys. Boys treat me safely. I'm safe around them. Tap and then align. I can have fun around boys. They're nice. Not all boys are mean. Good. And then smile. So we did this. It took maybe 7-8 minutes with our daughter. And the next day, she went to school. And it was so amazing because she went to school and she came back and just beaming. And she's like, Dad, guess what? And I'm like, what? What's going on? She's like, Dad, I made a friend. And guess what? He's a boy. And he didn't hurt me because I know I'm safe. And it was so amazing just to hear her words of power of knowing that she can change her belief systems. She can change how her body responds to things. And so can you, and so can your kids. So this is a simple way that if you want to really help your children, help yourself, just voice some of the negative interpretations from an experience, voice ideals, tap anywhere where you feel it, and then do the alignment process. Cool? All right, thanks for joining me. If you want to hang out some more, go ahead and subscribe to these videos, and we'll see you in the next video. Also, you can hit the link in the description and find some other links to go check out some other things. We have more videos deeper on the alignment process. We've got courses and coaching and all sorts of stuff. But here, I want to make sure that I'm serving you. If you have questions about this, just let me know. Drop it in the comments. And I just want to thank you so much for being unstoppable, being a good example, and helping your family do what is best by confronting these things. All right, we'll see you in the next video.